YouTube, we're live. So welcome to my YouTube channel. If this is your first time here, make sure you hit the subscribe button, smash the like button. But this is going to be a brand new feature on my YouTube channel every single weekday at noon-ish. Let's call it 12:15. I'm going to go live and just cover some recent news articles for you guys in regards to Canada, COVID-19, personal finances, government subsidies, kind of anything and everything. You guys have really been hitting up my comment section asking for us to do more relevant, timely, news-oriented presentations. So here we are. Jump in that comment section. Let me know whether you like this idea. Let me know whether you like the real estate kid to stay in his lane. You know, whatever engagement you're willing to give us, we always appreciate down in the video description or in the comment section down below. But in today's video, we're going to be talking about COVID-19 vaccines, their deliveries to Canada, and what's going on with some of the delays. But before we even get into, what's going on with vaccines here in Canada, I'd love to hear from you because I know vaccines are a very hot subject matter. So jump in the comment section and let us know. Will you be getting the vaccine? Do you want to get the vaccine ASAP? Do you think that we should have a list of people that lets you know who's got the vaccine, who doesn't? Should you be allowed to go into places without a mask on if you've got the vaccine? Let us know your opinions, your thoughts. But in general, what I'd like to share with you guys is just at least a general philosophy when it comes to vaccines. Actually, we'll get into that in a second. So before we really jump into even my thoughts on vaccines, let's just make sure that we're all on the same page in regards to COVID-19. So if you guys haven't been paying attention for the last year-ish now, this news is constantly evolving, so we're going to be covering the up-to-date news as it currently is available to us. We've got links to all of our sources in the video description down below as well, or if not, they will be there soon. So again, we really do want to encourage you guys to do more research, learn more about this subject matter yourself as well, because there's a lot of different news going on. But let's talk about vaccines in general. When we're talking about vaccines, again, it turns out it is a bit of a polarizing subject matter, and I'd love to hear which side of that polarization you guys are on in the comment section down below. But one thing I can tell you about vaccines, in my opinion, I'm really glad I didn't have to worry about polio as a kid. So that's definitely one of the things that constantly comes top to mind when we're talking about vaccines. But in case the concept of a vaccine is new to you, vaccines will protect people against harmful diseases before they come into contact with them. So essentially, it's using our body's natural defense system to build resistance to a specific type of infection and make your immune system stronger. Essentially, think of vaccines like, World of Warcraft, going and just grinding out killing rats. That's essentially what you're doing with a vaccine. Your immune system is grinding out rats, gaining XP points, so that if and when it comes into contact with a more serious form of a virus, it will be able to beat it and slay that final boss. So finally, again, it's really just about training your immune system, I should say. And so essentially that killed or weakened version that they inject into you is what your immune system is going to be tackling. So now let's get one thing out of the way. I know those of you that are on the fence in regards to the COVID-19 vaccine, one of the biggest concerns we have is just the speed to implement. So unlike previous vaccines, it certainly is being implemented and rolled out in a faster timeline than we've often seen in the past. And for me personally, I know that that's probably one of the largest areas of concern for myself. But again, today's video is not really about diving deep into my concerns around the vaccine or really your concerns. But again, love to hear them in the comment section down below. Instead, what we want to do is really just highlight for you the evolving narrative around the vaccines here in Canada, how many vaccines Canada has bought, how many we're entitled to receive, and kind of what that entire timeline looks like. So if you guys weren't paying attention to last week's news cycle, we actually had a lot of different significant updates when it comes to vaccines in Canada. We had an update on January 12th, the 14th, and the 15th, and let's quickly summarize them for you so that you're up to date. So on January 12th, that's when Trudeau came out and mentioned that we're going to be buying an additional 20 million vaccines, and those are going to be purchased from Pfizer. Then we also announced that Canada will have now purchased 40 million total doses from both Pfizer and Moderna. So that's 80 million in total. And Trudeau also said, Canada has the option to purchase 36 million more doses from Pfizer if needed. So that would add to that 80 million total, and that gets to 116 million doses total. And then finally, one quick thing, in case you haven't been paying attention, you actually need 2 doses of the vaccine in order for it to be effective. And those doses need to be taken multiple weeks apart. So again, in case you guys haven't been paying attention to what's going on with the vaccine, 2 doses. So when you hear numbers like 116 million doses, we need to divide by 2 in order to really understand how many people in total we're going to be able to provide the vaccine to. So when we're looking at over 100 million vaccines or even over 80 million vaccines, sounds like we should have all of Canada covered because there's less than 40 million of us Canucks. And then finally, Trudeau said, from our agreements with Pfizer and Moderna alone, we are on track to have every Canadian who wants a vaccine receive one by September. Now, I'm just going to highlight there, for those of you that are concerned about mandatory vaccines, let's hope that Trudeau was speaking with a lot of precision when he said that statement that every Canadian who wants a vaccine will receive one by September. Then on January 14th, we had a new update, and we had Danny Fortin, the military commander who's leading Canada's COVID-19 vaccines logistics. He was noting that they expect the vaccine manufacturers to deliver upwards of 1 million doses a week by the beginning of April. And then Fortin also acknowledged that low vaccine doses total 615,000 so far. So that's more than 565,000 doses have been administered as of January 18th. So that's the time of this video shoot. We're trying to stay up to date and timely for you guys. And then Fortin also noted and expects 6 million more doses would be available to Canadians by the end of March. However, on January 15th, we got an update from the Public Services and Procurement Ministry, Anita Anand, and revealed that Pfizer will temporarily reduce the shipments of COVID-19 vaccines to Canada. And it's not just Canada; they're actually reducing it to all their customers that they're supplying the vaccine to, because Pfizer is slowing down its Belgium-based production lines in order to improve its long-term manufacturing capacity. So all countries relying on Pfizer essentially are going to get less doses than they initially were promised, and everything should be back to normal by the end of March, according to Canada. And Canada will fulfill its goal for committed doses in Q1 with the January 15th update. And this is only a temporary issue that should only impact us 2 to 3 weeks. Fortin said that Canada's dose allotment will drop 50% for the next 4 weeks, and this week's shipment of 208,000 doses will not be impacted. For the week of January 25th, it will be tough. Only a quarter of the previously committed Pfizer doses will arrive, and the remaining 400 doses are expected to be caught up at a later date, which currently isn't specifically stated. And then finally, Fortin expects the dose distribution normalcy to return by end of February. So even there's a couple different things, but it seems like by the end of Q1, really our expectations are that we should be back on track with our doses. And again, according to Trudeau, by the end of September or by the start of September, we should all be able to get vaccines if you want. And now that's where I really want to leave the conversation with you guys. Let me know in the comment section down below. Will you be the first one in line to get the vaccine? If so, why? If not, why? Are you going to be one of the last ones to get the vaccine, or will you refuse to get the vaccine, even if it ends up becoming mandatory here in Canada? I'd love to hear your perspective as well. If you can share your sources, we always appreciate you sharing your sources so that we can really further the discussion. Again, the goal of this weekday daily show that we're going to be doing here on my YouTube channel is just to provide you guys more practical and timely information. I find that mainstream media is just a shit show these days. So this is really my intention of doing the 21st news right. So again, this is going to be a work in process. It is an iterative process. I would love your feedback, love your comments. But again, we're going to be doing this every single day. And so because this is the very first time, I'm just going to quickly look at a couple of the comments. Appreciate everyone that has been jumping in there. Okay, actually looks like there's a lot more comments than I expected. So really love it, guys. So the Matrix, that's exactly why. Okay, so we're getting right into some vaccine theories right there. The risk is totally overhyped and resources have been misallocated. We made the right calls at the beginning when we didn't have data, but 11 months in, we can clearly see lockdowns are causing more harm than good. Yeah, definitely appreciate you sharing that perspective, Nathan. And I've known Nathan for a while, so I really do think that it is unfortunate that we're not able to adapt on a more timely manner. Now, don't get me wrong. I know it's way easier being an armchair quarterback than having to be boots on the ground and leading a government or leading a nation in a time of crisis. So, all this is just hindsight, but the one frustration that I think I have the most in this regards is simply the fact that I don't believe that organizations and leaders are willing to pivot fast enough as information comes in. And the fear is a lack of consistency. And I understand why there's that fear of appearing inconsistent. because it gives a lot of opportunity for pundits, for your haters, for your competition essentially to grab on and point out how you pivoted or shift paths. But this is a very dynamic situation. Everything here is ad hoc. So if we need to expect and really understand from our leaders and our government that information will change and evolve over time. I think what I would love to see more of is really discussing why and how it's impacting our decisions. So again, this choice to right now in Ontario go into a more severe lockdown or restriction, or I don't even know what they call it anymore, but I would love to hear more specific explanation on why in this moment and what studies, what information have we updated our assumptions from 11 months ago in regards to why we're choosing to implement it at this point in time and why at this point in time and why that exact strategy. So again, this is just the beginning here on my YouTube channel. If you guys enjoyed this, please smash the like button, hit the subscribe button if you discovered my channel for the first time because of this show. And finally, sharing is caring. So if you guys can share this on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, wherever you consume and share social media content, I would greatly appreciate it. And we'll be back tomorrow with another up-to-date news story about Canada. Really appreciate you guys. Let me know what I should name this series as well, because we cranked this out so fast, I don't even got a name. But I appreciate you guys. See you on the next video.